All right. Not sure if everyone else heard that message there, but the recording is in progress. Needs to be a Zoom feature here. We'll welcome in episode 31 of the Hooley Brothers podcast and at you on a rich Sunday night episode. Again, was away for the weekend. I actually didn't catch too many sports. That'll be we'll kind of just go with the conversation. I just figured it was an important day. So, Mike, how you doing?
Not bad. Pretty good weekend. Can't complain. It's gonna be beautiful all week.
I know.
Something.
I know. So ready for that. But yeah, again, a lot of things kind of happening. We talked about last time. I think the seasons for hockey and basketball were winding down. We're actually into the playoffs now for hockey, which we'll get to in a little bit here. But we do want to start. What's that? Yeah, right. The Canucks, right?
Yeah, Canucks and Flames.
Yeah, so that's a thing that's still happening for some reason. But yeah, so then NBA final day of the regular season is today. A lot of things have been figured out, but a few things kind of still out there. So again, we're going to start this big picture. And Celtics did play today, and they lost because, so technically they played. A lot of guys did not play. But what's that?
Red Claws.
The Red Claw, yeah, like the a better version of the Red Claws played today, essentially. But yeah, the playoff picture, at least the top four are set. If I'm not mistaken, for the East.
I think Milwaukee might be able to. I'm not sure how the tiebreakers work.
To get to two, yeah, right.
Because I don't know. I keep on clicking on the MLB standings of the NBA. But
yeah,
I know that Philly has the Z next to them, so they've clinched the conference.
Right. Okay.
Brooklyn's the 2, Milwaukee's the 3, and it's still 1-2 like games behind. So Milwaukee's chasing a game. So I think if Milwaukee wins and Brooklyn loses, I think
there's a chance there.
Yeah, because I know they played last week in Milwaukee.
Mm-hmm.
It was a 2-game set, and Milwaukee won both of them.
If you're a Celtics fan that hasn't given up on the season yet, go Bucks, and whoever the Nets are playing, go that team too, because that's, I think, your ideal situation is if you somehow got the 7 here and then you were able to face Milwaukee instead of Brooklyn. I think that'd be a win.
Yeah, and even just looking, I know I got a notification that Harden's out tonight, and I know Middleton's out, but I think Kyrie, Durant, and Giannis are all playing, so it seems like there's something at stake there.
Mm-hmm. Okay, that's true. I guess you'd probably start sitting everyone if this was to be determined. So yeah, we'll obviously keep
the Bulls sitting Levine, Vucevic, Tice,
because they can't do anything. It's their last game of the season. Yeah.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, anyway, so we have, Philly has clinched the conference, and then 2 and 3 is going to be Brooklyn and Milwaukee. And how about the New York Knicks, after all this, getting the 4 seed in the Eastern Conference? I don't think many people even predicted them to make this even play-in tournament once the year started. And here they are sitting at the 4 seed. They're going to host a playoff series versus, again, that's another one that's still, I think, to be determined there, right between Atlanta and Miami.
No, I'm pretty sure it's Atlanta because they have the Y clinched division. And if the Heat are the 6th seed, they're in the same division.
And they're in the same division. Okay, so it looks like it'll be the Hawks versus Knicks, which I like. I think this should be maybe not the sexiest matchup on paper, but I think a very interesting matchup there. So I think that's So that should be good. And then we also have Miami seems like they're going to be locked in at that 6th spot, and then facing whoever, most likely Milwaukee, but if something crazy happens tonight, it would obviously be the Nets. So. So we'll see that there. And then now for the play-in tournament, again, our Celtics that have just been sitting at 7, pretty much locked in there for about a week now.
Happy they lost today, so we'll finish the season in a smooth 500.
Yeah, and also got the Knicks that 4 seed. So which is fun because, again, I think the Knicks are just – it's fun when they're good, and they just seem like they're not quite like the Lakers or not the Lakers, the Yankees type thing where you hate them and you want to get – the Knicks are fine. They're a fun team. So the Celtics will be hosting again all week, Mike. It looked like it was going to be Charlotte in that 8th spot. Maybe Indiana would sneak up. I don't know. And then out of nowhere, the Washington Wizards, who have had a fantastic last month and a half, whatever, with Russ going off and obviously Bradley Beal doing his thing too, and they get into the 8th seed, so they guaranteed themselves at least a 2nd game if they don't win, which obviously isn't the case if you're in the 9-10 game. So just a phenomenal end to the season for the Wizards.
Definitely was a lot on Charlotte's behalf too. They were 3-7 to end the season, losing their last 5.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and Mike, here's the set I was talking about earlier. On April 6th, So what, month and a half ago? Yeah, the Wizards were 17-32. They closed the year out on going 17-6 to get to the 8 seed here. So again, I mean, probably not going to matter because you have to face one of these top teams anyway. But a fantastic end of the season for the Wizards, and Russ shows he's not done. Bradley Beal's obviously a phenomenal player too, so he's again, they're going to get 2 playoff games if they, unless they beat the Celtics and then you're the 7th seed. So they're either going to get firmly in the playoffs with 1 game, or they're going to at least have 2 chances to do so.
I mean, I saw, I forgot who on Twitter today. I kind of hope they beat the Celtics just to set up that Nets Wizard series. I know they had some. Their 3 regular season games were all pretty intriguing. I know, like one of them, Washington actually came with the victory. This was like very early in the year, and it was like 140 to 145, like a crazy game like that. So that seems like
that's when Russ stole the inbounds pass, I think, right? And then he hit that like corner 3. Yeah.
So even if it's like a 5-game series, it seems like that at least will be like an entertaining 5-game series.
Yeah.
The Celtics walk into Brooklyn, that's not gonna be fun.
Yeah, and Mike and I, you might be confused because we we are Celtics fans, but I think we're just done with this year and want it to end. It's almost like that like joke in Christmas Vacation, like I hope he falls off and breaks his neck. He's like, well, it's like, I'm sure I fall, but I don't think we're lucky enough to have him break his neck. So I don't think they're going to lose 2 games. Is basically what I'm getting at there. Like they might lose 1, but I don't think they're going to lose twice. They could, but I think they'll end up being the 7 or 8 seed and getting into a playoff series and then losing there, obviously.
Yeah, am I rooting for them on Tuesday?
It's just weird because now, I'm like, well, technically, it's like a pre-playoff thing. Is it different than any regular season game? I don't know. I won't be as mad as I've been in the past at Celtics postseason losses. Let's put it that way. If they do lose on Tuesday night here, so it's tough. I know it's weird. Like again, I just almost want this like a mercy killing of this season for the Celtics because it did not work this year. Jalen's out for the year, and I don't know. Let's try it again next year. So it does seem like a weird spot where they could. Again, if they win one of these 2 games, they're going to enter, full-on series and make the playoffs. But it's just weird. Yeah, I don't know. It's a weird one. I've never felt like, I never have really felt that way going to a playoffs. Usually if I'm frustrated at one of our teams, they did so badly that they didn't make the playoffs. And I don't know.
Like the Bruins back-to-back years, like choking away.
Yeah. Or like anytime the Red Sox have been awful, yeah. This year with the Patriots, it was, yeah. So... so that's a weird one. But again, so the East picture is we have the 10 teams. Again, just those kind of few ordering things. We have the playing tournament set. It's just kind of, figuring out 2 and 3 and 5. Or you said 5 and 6 even seems like that's settled. So it might be pretty, finalized top to bottom. It's just once we figured out the Milwaukee.
I'm not even sure. I'm doing deductive reasoning. I don't even know for sure. 2 money would be set as well.
If it's not already clinched, yeah, exactly. It could be. So, but yeah, and then. So that's where we stand as far as the East goes. And then if we go out West, I think there's still
a lot of
because the Jazz still, I see they still don't have a Z, and Phoenix won today. So I would think if the Jazz lose, Phoenix gets the 1 seed.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
But who are they playing? They're playing the Kings, right? I think I've checked this a few times.
I think so.
Someone important is playing the Kings, and I wasn't
today for the Suns at a game-winning 3 to keep them contention for the 1 seed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yes, Jazz at Sacramento.
Okay. So that's obviously there. And then we have, that's 1 and 2. 3 and 4 also seems like, so we're deadlocked there, and they both have 71 games played, so they're both playing tonight as well, right? Okay, can we, quick pause here. I get that they wanted to stretch the schedule, that they're originally going to do that 12 to 2:30 window, and then they changed their mind on that. It's well, could we have compromised somewhere? It's these games are starting at 9 p.m. on a Sunday night that are deciding the stand. Couldn't we have bumped them up to 6 or something?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I know what
you're saying. Yeah, it's really annoying. I'm like, they're not going to do the 12 to 3 window anymore. I'm like, all right, fine. What is it now? It's no, it's
1 game at 3:30.
Yeah, was it the Warriors game?
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's what I was getting at. Why do we need this? And I feel like sometimes it just works out that way. That was the last game of the regular season. It was the 8th tied record for the 8th spot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, exactly.
Out there. It was the Hornets at the Wizards today.
Yeah.
They both between tiebreakers. It was.
That's true. Yeah.
Indiana was automatically the 9 seed if they won.
Mm-hmm.
And then you were either the 8 or the 10.
Right.
The winner of that game was going to be the 8 seed regardless. So like,
Mm-hmm. Yeah. That's
obviously.
obviously.
But in previous years, that doesn't matter. So it seems like they had it this year. So they really
So you're saying like essentially the 8s versus 9s played each other today anyway.
Yeah.
If we did like almost like last year's format, except you didn't have to win twice or whatever. But no, it's just stupid because again, I feel like, and I could be wrong.
The excitement today, like Memphis lost today, and it's like, oh well, you got to win 2 now. It was basically it was like, well, we needed to win 2 of either this regular season game and then one of the next 2, or we lost today, so now to win the next 2. Like we had to win 2 out of 3 regardless. So it just took a lot of excitement out of today.
Yeah, and also like I don't know. To me, it's again, I could be wrong because the Celtics could completely implode, but it's just like I feel like the way the season ended, it's like okay, the Celtics were clearly the 7, and then it kind of came down to like these other 3 teams. The Pacers kind of just hung around, but then the Hornets tanked and the Wizards went up. That would have been exciting to like. It would have felt almost more momentous if it came, like you said, it came down to today and Washington, the last day of the regular season, clinched a playoff spot. Like it was do or die today. Not like, oh, well, if we lose, we'll still be in a different playing game. That would have been awesome today. If it was just like teams trending in opposite directions, going for the final spot. And the same thing you said with the Warriors in Memphis. And it just seems like in both instances, like again, if all the top seeds win, it's like, okay, well, those are all the better teams. And the teams that missed just aren't ready yet. Because like again, the Warriors seem like they're on. I mean, obviously the loser of, the Lakers of fate, they're clearly a really good team. And then I'd say the Blazers are kind of on that tier as well. And then kind of getting down to, all right, well, who's better, Warriors or Grizzlies? Again, I know things can play out differently here, but it would have been just so much cleaner if we just had the top 8. So again, semi rant over there. But going back to the standings, yeah. So 3-4, obviously Denver, and so it looks like they have the tiebreaker because they're tied now and they're in the 3 spot. Denver, that being. So
yeah, but they have the tougher matchup. Both Clippers and the Nuggets are on the road. Clippers are going back to the Thunder, so
I'm assuming they're going to win.
They're good. They should win that game, and then the Nuggets have to go to Portland, who need a win to get out of this.
Mm-hmm. So. Yeah. So again, that obviously does favor the Clippers there. So yeah, that'll be a very interesting game with the Denver and Portland because obviously, is there still movement? Can 5, 6, 7 all play out? Because I know Dallas has a game now, but I don't know what happens if they lose their game and like Portland and or the Lakers win. Like, is there movement there? There's a lot of different scenarios.
They're at Minnesota. I think that's okay. I think because of that, they wanted all these teams to play at the same time.
Oh, but so they just made it 9:00 because of the coast. And I'm just like, it's a Sunday. You could do like 6 or so. I don't know. You could have made a different time work.
It's Minnesota, New Orleans, and Portland are where the games are.
Yeah. So, but yeah, so that's, and then 5, 6, 7. Again, Dallas is a game up on Portland and the Lakers now. Lakers currently sitting in the play-in tournament. So again, obviously, if everyone won their games, I know Denver, that wouldn't really apply up there. But if out of Dallas, Portland, and the Lakers, all teams win, it'll be Dallas, Portland, then the Lakers. Warriors are waiting their opponent, and we have Memphis and San Antonio in the 9-10 game. Winner obviously goes to the second game, and loser is out. And so a lot more movement out west. I want the Suns to get this 1 seed somehow, just so that they can avoid potentially playing the Lakers and getting kind of screwed in their first round matchup.
Yeah. I mean, it would be a good story, but I don't see the Jazz falling to the Kings tonight.
Yeah, that's fair. Especially going again with that on the line, it's not like they're really going to sit people in that instance. But
not that the Warriors are any
slouch. No, we said it's 2 unconventional teams up in the top 2 spots, and 2 kind of unconventional teams that could end up in the 7 and 8 spots. So we could potentially see 2 upsets there. I think obviously the Lakers get one of those 2 spots is much more likely that they do. But I mean, you have. And then Steph Curry clinched the scoring title today, I think I saw as well. So obviously, he's still playing insane. So you always have to kind of account for that when going into the playoffs here. So with the West should be very interesting as far as how it shapes up. It might not just be straight chalk, especially with just how the standings were, like the Lakers injuries, all that. So should be a very compelling first round of the West once we kind of get these pieces in place. And so just like, trying to make sure, are all 4 games on Tuesday?
No, it's East Tuesday.
East Tuesday, okay.
West Wednesday, and then Thursday, Friday.
Okay. All right, so Celtics will either be in the playoffs or they'd be playing, or in the playoffs after Tuesday, or they'd play Thursday night as well. Yeah. Okay. Well, I mean, yeah, I mean, if you're going to do this thing, I think that's the best way to do it because you're going to build in these days off anyway. So yeah, kind of having, yeah, East West. I think that definitely works. And then just like the first one just start Saturday.
I believe so. Yeah.
Okay. See, but that'll be interesting because I'm thinking then you can't do like a mix like you used to do in years past, where it'd be kind of like 2 East, 2 West, and then 2 East, 2 West.
We can just with like 3, 6, 4, 5 is gonna be locked.
Oh, that's a good point, Mike. I never thought of it that way. You're right. Good point. So yeah, we'll have to see how that shapes up. We'll have definitely a very interesting weekend next weekend with the playoffs starting, but we'll have a midweek show as well to kind of see where we're at. Probably about roughly halfway through the play-in tournament. We'll know how the Celtics did by that point, so we'll kind of check in there and obviously see what the status is with the East, and then we'll be probably on during the West games, and then also the Bruins, who we'll get to in a little bit. But I'm just kind of wrapping up here on some basketball notes. Again, we kind of just talked about how this was essentially a playoff itself today, the way things shaped up, and then obviously we had Hall of Fame ceremonies yesterday, and probably one of the most stacked classes I've ever seen. The trio of Tim Duncan, Kevin Garnett, and the late great Kobe Bryant. So obviously it was, I didn't get to catch too many clips there, but I'm guessing very emotional scene once Kobe's widow there, Vanessa, went up and gave the speech. I think, and MJ chipped in as well, didn't he?
Yeah,
I think I saw they were doing that together.
Seemed like MJ. It was mostly Vanessa. At least the clip I saw, MJ walked her up and stood behind her and she did all. It was like the video I saw. Yeah, it was a great class. I know even like in Garnett's speech, he did mention the fact that his biggest regret from his career was not getting to Boston sooner.
Did he really? Oh my God, that's. I
he did say it was an honor for him to go in with those two guys.
Yeah, no. Again, it's just
power rank them and his all-time greats. He's probably third on the list. Nothing to take away from the fact that it's probably
which is insane because even look at like next year's classic, he'd probably be the best one on that list. So so it.
Not that the trio of Bosch, Peterson, Ben Wallace are any slackers.
No, I don't know if you saw it because I actually have like NBA TV on right now. I put a little smirk up earlier because I'm just thinking it's like, oh, Hall of Famer Ben Wallace averaged 5.7 points per game. I'm like, because obviously that wasn't his MO. He was a defensive player and with the rebounds and blocks. But it was just funny to see that like Hall of Famer. It's like 5.7 points per game. I mean, it's almost like kind of like a Rodman type deal, but yeah, so that was awesome. It's also funny too seeing Tim Duncan now because he had more or less the same haircut for like 20 years. It was just like varying degrees of his, maybe the height of his hair, and then now he has the like Killmonger haircut going on. It's just like it's so funny to see. It's like, okay, so you decided to do that at your 40s, not like at any point you're playing. I mean, I guess it's more manageable when you're playing if it's shorter, but it's funny to see him now just looking a little bit different than he did for about 20 years. But yeah, as you mentioned, Mike, again, kind of, the next year's or the 2021 class, everything kind of got pushed back because of COVID, obviously. So that got announced, like you said. Also, with Chris Webber was on there as well, right?
Yes.
Yeah. Was it? I think it was 4 NBA player, or no? And then one was like Tony Kukoc, right? It was like an international selection, even because I think it was them 4. Then I think it was like 5 coaches too. I think.
Yeah, I think. Yeah.
Jay Wright.
I'm getting some. I'm getting a lot of names confused right now.
Yeah, I know. I saw Jay Wright on there.
Jay Wright, yes.
Yeah, but I think there were a few other coaches as well. But yes, that'll be probably coming soon then, right?
One more time.
Oh no, you say your thing first.
I was gonna say, and also back to this year, I know from my alma mater, women's coach, Coach Stevens got inducted too. So
nice. Okay, Bentley University. Yeah.
And then I'm not sure what year this is because I know like some of these like awards like might be last second, but Mike Breen, Mike Wilbon both got in the Hall of Fame as well.
Oh yes, I did see that about Breen actually. That's awesome.
Announcer and reporting.
Yeah. Okay. I'm
not sure.
Awesome.
It was announced yesterday. I'm not sure if it's like a last second inductee here or like a.
Or if it's for the. I mean, I'm no. But what I was saying before when we kind of talked at the same time is just, I mean, that ceremony is probably going to be this year as well because it's usually the same year.
Yeah.
Because it's the 2021 class. Kobe, Tim Duncan, and Garnett with the 2020 class. So, So yeah, well, obviously, yeah, we might be double dipping this year as far as that goes. But yeah, again, shout out to everyone who made it last year and is making it this year too. But yeah, just want to hit on a few NBA notes there, and also going to switch gears there, go over some NHL. A game just I feel like again snuck up on me because I had no idea what was going on with the season as we were kind of joking. I think a little bit before this is that the regular season is still technically going for hockey, but we're also in the playoffs at the same time. So obviously, again, I was away this weekend with some friends, and I didn't catch game one of the playoffs. I'm hoping to change that every other game here. And Mike, I know you didn't catch too much of it either, but the Bruins were the first game on the schedule for the NHL playoffs. We'll kind of get to the rest of the picture in a sec here, but starting in an 0-1 hole with a tough overtime loss to the Capitals last night.
Yeah, pretty wild game. The Capitals goalie, I definitely can't pronounce his name, so he Vanacek, I think it is.
Okay.
Yeah, Vitek Vanacek or something like that. He got hurt early on, so Craig Anderson, the backup, had to step in and did pretty good job saving 95% of the shots. I hate to say Tom Wilson. He had 2 points, but he was the first goal of the game and was on the assist for the game winner by Nicholas Dowd. I guess I didn't catch much of it. I was trying to pick up what people were saying. Having an okay showing. I believe it was 32 shots and gave up 3. So okay, could be better. And I think the last bad rebound, I know hit him in the chest or something. So I think a lot of the talk might be I'm watching the replay on it right now. Oh yeah,
great podcasting.
Yeah, it definitely trickled in. I think the first 2 were very tough shots or deflections. The overtime winner. Yeah, he got that. So whether it's the lack of showing, I heard Marchand was pretty either invisible or, if anything, a negative between turnovers on the offensive end and not being the best on the defensive side. So I think between him and then even a couple, I think a defenseman kind of a little weak because I know in this matchup they're definitely the bigger team, more physical. We're going to have to rely more of our speed and youth on the defensive side. So it seems like that battle definitely went Washington's way, even though it did get a So we'll see if we can. Anytime you go on the road, you just want to steal one. That seemed like if it's an overtime, it seems like the game you want to steal. But
I know, but it's in Washington, so I mean, I guess technically, if you win game 2, you've stolen home ice advantage there. But I know in hockey, especially, I think with COVID limited, I know some states are different than others, but at least limited crowds, it maybe doesn't play as much, and it just, the whole thing's kind of a crapshoot with hockey anyway. You get 8 teams aside, and really anyone can win, as we saw kind of with the Blues a couple of years ago, and just it's all about just getting hot at the right time. So maybe it doesn't mean as much as some other sports, but yeah, obviously tough to lose an overtime game in game 1, but we'll see what we have tomorrow night on Monday, and again we'll be tracking that I think a little bit more closely than Saturday. Again, I just think it snuck up completely on me. I was also with a group of people, but and then kind of just going around the rest of the league. So again, we have game 2 tomorrow night for the Bruins, and then the rest of the games are happening today. I don't know if they're ever going to even out, or we're just going to be one, because we're every other day.
It's weird. Well, also you got to think there's 8 games in the series. There's not all the rest of them are today. Only 3 are today.
Oh my god, yeah, I cut them in half. My bad. Yeah, you're right.
It's gonna be a little bit. I don't think the North Division starts up till later on in the week. So
that's what I didn't get though. If you're gonna have the Bruins start this early, how did you not work in a 2-day off thing? I saw it was literally every other day.
Yeah, I think at least the last series that starts the Maple Leafs Canadians, and they have at least one. They have one back to back. I think games 3 or back to back nights.
Yeah.
So I think it's gonna be if we go 7, that's the same night as a game 6 and a game 5. So
and then we just wait for the opponent. Yeah.
We're the winner of our series is playing Pittsburgh.
Is playing exactly who played today.
Yeah. Anything might just be logistically after the dust settles with all the divisions. That might be a little bit of a break. Or the North playoff might just be running completely behind.
Right? Yeah. You'll wait kind of once you get to the final 4.
I guess. Yeah. So.
Yeah, you could just be waiting like once you get to the last step before like the final four, like all four winners come together. There might be a little bit more of
Couple
a
days.
break for exactly.
Where really the
So
North winner might have like a back to back in a series, then have one day off to play
yeah,
the West team,
I
and then the West.
I can't. Yeah,
Something like that.
I guess I kind of get it because then it's like, well, there's also a situation where if you did kind of like wait and then it's like, well, then like the early series, the one that went 7, and then like the North, like they were all sweeps. Say it's like, okay, well now you have to wait for that. And like you almost like reverse it on you. So you might as well just like, yeah, wait till the end to figure it all out. But
every day and just hope. I feel like
we'll figure it out at the end. Yeah, exactly. Which I don't hate. But yeah, so the Bruins obviously lost their game last night. We had 4 games total today. 2 are final. Like 3 straight overtime games. And I know you noted this here, but Islanders beat the Penguins 4-3 early trading. Then the Wild and Knights, it was no goals in regulation, just 1 for the Wild coming in OT over the Golden Knights. So yeah, been 3 straight the game winners in overtime to start the playoffs here.
Yeah, I was able to catch a little bit of hockey today between pulling back just like video games and soccer a little bit, but I think the star of the Islander game was Kyle Parmaler. He picked up from the Devils, and he's been really quiet since he's gone to the Long Island. But he had the first goal and the game winner today.
Mm-hmm.
It was a really, really good shot. Jari, the Penguins goaltender, is covering everything but like the very, very top corner on like a side shot, and he just right in. So that was a good one. And then there's a dude named Joel Eriksson Ek. Like Eriksson Ek, EK is the end of his name, the game winner for the Wild.
Okay.
And I think
interesting name.
I think the dude not sharp and like the intermission called it the winner, like basically bushy overtime challenged it. So
okay, nice.
So yeah, two good games. And I think the way to put it, I know that both these goalies lost, was that Jari let a couple like softies in, whereas Florida was standing on his head in this game. Like he had 40 saves. Like both goalies did well, but he had a lot of like amazing saves.
He had a lot more shots coming his way. Yeah.
No, I meant like both Talbot on Minnesota and Floyd had to face like 40 shots, and it was 0-0. So they both played very well, but there was a lot of highlights during the course of that game that Fleury had. Right. Which is pretty funny to think that as of like 5 years ago. Like,
I know.
They chose Matt Murray over Fleury, and now they're on the second guy. Yeah.
I know. Yeah, and he's obviously had a resurgence out there in Vegas. So, but yeah, so again, then there's 2 more games. One about to start about 10 minutes or so here. The Florida matchup between Tampa Bay and the Florida Panthers. So that puck drops at 7:30. And then the late game tonight, Flames and Canucks. That's a regular season game, actually. So I just realized there are 3 playoff games today.
I was kind of letting you figure that out live. I'm like,
well, I appreciate it, Mike. I got there. It wasn't the prettiest journey. Again, I got the app open, kind of looking at the schedule here, and I was like, I think as I started saying, I'm like, I didn't think they were any they were any good or whatever. So I was like, I stand corrected. The final game here at 7:30.
Yeah, I was like, yeah, there's only 3 today, and you're like, there's 4, and I was like, oh god, no, I'm gonna let this figure this out. Like,
I appreciate it. That was nice. I got there again. I'm coming off a weekend. I'm a little rusty here, but yeah. And then but we have the whole picture set now. It's just kind of waiting for things to wrap up in the North, as you're kind of saying before.
I don't know. Sorry.
That's all right. Hey,
but
it's a beautiful day. Get the windows open.
Yeah. I don't get why these teams have to start so late if they already know who they're playing.
Right.
Like I get okay, the Oilers had a regular season game yesterday. That's fine. Like the Jets and the Leafs played on Friday, so like I get why they're not playing like today.
Yeah.
But I don't know why they can't start like on like Tuesday.
Yeah, who knows? And then so some of the other series we have Predators and Hurricanes also starting tomorrow. Same thing with Blues and Avalanche. And like I said,
Avalanche.
What did you say, Mike?
President's Trophy's winner, Avalanche.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it was between them and the Knights, but I can't really miss this. It was Monday night was kind of like the game for like the winner, and the Avalanche ended up winning in Vegas. So that kind of like gave them a leg up for the 1 seed.
Yeah. And then that leaves the other 2 matchups in the North. So yeah, Mike, I think you said they're starting later in the week. So Wednesday looks like game 1 for Jets and Oilers, and then the final matchup is Montreal and Toronto. That one's starting on Thursday. So
yeah,
that's the rest of the picture.
I love this first round where it's like 4 games a night going from like 6:30 to 10 for puck drops.
Between that and between then once that and NBA kind of happen at the same time, it's like there's always something on.
Yeah, and then like on Saturday and Sunday where it goes from like 12-3, 7-8.
Yeah.
I kind of wish that there was another late game, so it was like 12-3, 7-10.
I know, especially on the week. I like having the late games on the weekends.
Yeah.
But yeah, so we're in the thick of things now. Again, starting a bit disjointed. Bruins gonna be like 3 games in, but before the Montreal Toronto series starts. So again, kind of a interesting year to the whole COVID situation. But we're here. We made it here. A few games down, all overtime, as we were saying before. So it should be a fun first round here across the board. And hopefully the Bruins get back on track and are able to make a good series out of this thing.
Mm-hmm. Did you have so? Do you want to give any predictions, like even like what you had going in? Or?
Yeah, I mean, we can certainly. Yeah, I mean, it's tough because it's going to sound, obviously not great, but also just quick sidebar, Mike, and we'll get to baseball in a sec here. I threw the Padres game on versus the Cardinals, and I'm seeing Machado. I missed Machado for a second, but no Tatis. Is he? Oh, he had COVID, right?
COVID.
Yeah. No, I was more shocked because I was somehow staring at Manny Machado's name and didn't see him. I'm like, they're both not playing? That's weird, but he is back playing. But anyway, yeah, going back. I mean, it's tough because I probably would have picked the Capitals to win this series. It just seems like I don't know, they're just a real tough team. I wish the Bruins were able to kind of have a little bit of a different draw there. So are you talking kind of like series by series or just kind of like a big picture, like
I was gonna say maybe just like the best way, like there's like fire, like rapid fire, just go like
off the hip. Yeah. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah. Like I would say, like for instance, you could say, oh, I have the Capitals, Penguins. So it's like because like you can't pick like a Stanley Cup right now because it's all reseeding.
Fair. Yeah, that's true. That's all right. Fine. Yeah. All right. Yeah. We'll do that for now. Yeah. Yeah. I think. That's actually I think exactly what I would go with. With what I would have gone with. Is the Caps beating the Penguins for our division here?
I was gonna do Bruins over Penguins.
Okay.
Because I just still like how we saw.
Again, I hope I'm wrong, but
yeah, because I think it's gonna get a little comeuppance from 9 years ago.
Mm-hmm. Oh yeah, right after the Cup. Yeah.
They beat us in our home ice in Game 7.
Holtby.
So I think that whether it's Rask or Swayman in net, we're going to eke our way to a Game 7. Like, I think we're going to win Game 6 and 7. So
okay, all right.
I just think that Pittsburgh will be good enough to hold off the Islanders.
Agreed.
Even though definitely watching today, I want to go back in that take, but this is what I thought before the game. So I'm.
You're sticking with it, yeah, exactly, yeah, exactly. But yeah, so I got my schedule freaked out of me. Then on the Lightning Panthers, it's one of those things where I just think I gotta kind of go with my gut here, and I think the Lightning would win that series. And then the other matchup there, obviously, the Carolina and Panthers, right?
Huh?
Carolina and why did I say oh my god, no, Carolina, no, yeah, there's so many teams going. The Predators. I'm like I had Nashville in my head, and I didn't mean the Carolina Panthers, just so you know. The Carolina, no, not that. Yes, yeah, geez, I gotta pick it up. I'm struggling. Yeah, I gotta sleep. Yeah, right. I was doing some karaoke up till like 4 a.m. last night. So, and then probably Hurricanes in that one, and Hurricanes over the Lightning.
Hurricanes over Panthers. Just it's so tough to go back to back. Even though
I'm not saying they're gonna win. I just win one series, but even then, yeah, like you said, even that seems like it's kind of hard in hockey.
I think there's like sneaky, just getting like Kucherov back out of nowhere.
Yeah.
That might be nice for them.
Yeah, absolutely. And then kind of. So again, we have some of the other matchups, or they're all set. It's just it's just so weird that they're starting so much later. I want to hear it. Why don't you go first for these ones?
I'm going. It's so weird because like I'm looking at like the North Division and I'm like, these guys are just nothing but chokers.
Yeah, I know. That's true.
Traditional non-chokers like Montreal, I just don't think they're that good.
No.
So I'm gonna go with Edmonton beating the Leafs.
Okay,
Dave
I got.
always run to the finals.
I'll go Leafs over Jets.
Okay. And then out west, what do you got?
Well, I did the first two, so you do the second two. It's tough, right? Well, I mean, one's probably easy, but
I'm gonna go with Vegas over the Avalanche, but the Blues are gonna give it both those series in the first round. I think are gonna go 6 or 7.
okay. I'll do the opposite of that. Oh, not the complete. I'm the opposite of the end result. I'm going to go Avalanche over the Knights.
All right.
All right. Cool. All right. Well, we'll see how right or wrong we are in a little bit. Once we get these.
I picked right now all three of my winners. I know already lost. So
That's all right. That's all right. I don't even think the score's even registered in my mind. So we'll see how that goes. But yeah, exciting time of year. NBA is running, or we're just about to get the playoffs here, playing tournament. NHL playoffs are underway, and did want to hit in some baseball as well. So the Sox trying to sweep the Angels today, but and again, I was kind of tracking this one a little bit, but it seems like they weren't quite able to do so 6-5 final today, if I'm not mistaken, right?
yeah, Red Sox have had a lot of weird games this year, and this was just they went down 4-0 early, and it was like after like the second inning, I want to say, had a chance in the third, was only able to squeeze across, run, and then the fifth they went off Pawecki hit a home run, and Devers hit a 3-run home run. They go 5-4. Really were in control the entire rest of the game. Barnes had a couple because of course Ottavino had a couple guys on. Got the last out in the 8th. First 2 out in the 9th, and then Trout was up with one up to the last out, and he got absolutely jammed on a fastball, and somehow able to muscle it between center, right, and second base. Because I think
as he does
would have happened either way, but the fact that these Mike Trout outfits are playing very hard, there's a slight shift. So
right.
I think Arauz was playing second for us today. Was a little bit closer.
Okay.
To like the base rather than like playing a normal second base. So it just was a terrible timing, and like Barnes like he threw the right pitch for the 4th out, and it was just really demoralizing. You could see it in his eyes, and then he just left a hanger for Shohei, and Shohei for a home run. Had a chance in the 9th. We had first and second one out, but both Arauz and Chavis went down swinging. So Sox lost.
Sox lost, but they are still. Sorry, go ahead.
They did take 2 out of 3. They absolutely destroyed them on Saturday afternoon. Via Snapchat. I know a lot of people were there, so it was good to see that. It seemed like everyone that was there had a good time between roommates or ex-coworkers. So
yeah,
good time. And then pretty wild game on Friday as well with Dahlbeck hitting a 2-run shot in the 7th inning to win that game 4-3. So.
Yeah. But yeah, so Sox staying atop the AL East. I know getting a little bit tighter there now with Toronto a game and a half behind. So I mean, it seems like the teams below the Red Sox. I mean, it's not like they've really, they've been playing well, obviously, but Toronto, Yankees, and Tampa, pretty much everyone besides Baltimore, just a game and a half or 2 games behind here. So AL East is looking pretty strong to start the year.
Yeah, Toronto I think went 5-1 this week, put up a lot of runs. The Braves and the Phillies, as both those NL East teams came down to Dundon, Florida to see them. And then, the Yankees absolutely destroyed the Orioles all weekend, though. The Orioles did have a nice win. They're down like 4-0 early as well, and ended up winning like 10-5. Then the Rays took 2 out of 3 for the Mets. So pretty good.
All right, yeah. And Mike, I know you had a lot of the baseball notes here, so I don't know if you want to kind of just run through those. Go in division.
Daily podcast, like quickly divisional recap. So
it's your segment.
White Sox still holding the best run differential in the AL Central. Had to settle for a split with the Royals in town. Cleveland's out in Seattle. I think they're about to drop 2 out of 3 out there, and then still in last place is Minnesota. They just haven't gone. Slow start. COVID outbreak, and now Buxton's on the IL. So
who had been kind of one of their bright spots of the year because he had really started hot out of the gate there.
I think even I think he was and then flipping on the other side of the baseball, Kenta Maeda was one of the best pitchers in the AL last year. I think he's rocking like a 5 ERA right now. So they lost 2 out of 3 to Oakland, who were still the top of their division, 25-17, same record as the Sox. Also, back to the White Sox, the best record in the AL as well. So pretty good week for Oakland, 4-2 between the Red Sox and the Twins. After those Houston Astros, they've been playing some great baseball. Won 6 in 2 in their last and half game out of first behind Oakland.
Tied loss column.
Yeah. And then Seattle's right at 500. Like I said, they might beat Cleveland today, but the story with them this week was the call-up of Jared Kelenic.
Yeah.
4th best prospect in baseball. I think he came up on Thursday. I think it was either Friday or Saturday. I think Friday. He hit his first home run. So happy for him. The centerpiece of the Diaz Cano trade coming over right now.
Right.
After, Diaz has kind of worked out, but like Cano getting popped for steroids every.
I know. Jeez.
So I think they're kind of like they like Kelenic, but they're like, oh, I wish he could have been here. Like,
I know.
We were looking at like Moncada and Kopech. It's like, yeah, we got Sale in that World Series, but like Sale, like has
no, we got the World Series. It was right. I mean, that's a little different than that situation. They haven't done a show for it yet.
Yep. Just speaking of the fact, I know we said that between the Rays and the Blue Jays playing a lot of NL East teams and taking 2 out of 3 there. It's just
it's returned to 500. Yeah, roughly 500. Only 2 teams now.
530 winning percentage for first, 430 for last, and last still has the only positive run differential.
A lot of mediocrity going on there. We'll see kind of how all that evens out.
Yeah, and then during the week this week over the NL Central, St. Louis went to Milwaukee. Was able to take 2 out of 3. Great pitching in that series between Corbin Burns on the Wednesday night game, and then
I laugh at his name every time I just think of Corbin Burnson.
Yeah. No, that was Woodruff won the Wednesday night game. And Corbin Burns was against Jack Flaherty in like a Thursday afternoon day game. Great game. Final score 2-0. Jack Flaherty was the best pitcher, like the better pitcher in that one, even though Corbin Burns did send the record in that game of most strikeouts to start a year without giving a walk by having 52.
Oh, jeez.
Yeah.
Really? That's insane.
For his first walk, and then, so I think he's at a nice 53-1 right now.
Yeah.
And
then
out west,
Giants, they're staying hot.
They did have the luxury of playing the Pirates this weekend. They could have had even a sweep, but lost. It was a 4-game set, but they lost the game in the 10th on Friday night, and then they were up 4-0 last night and blew it. So could have they're 24-16, could very easily have been 26-14 if they just didn't let a bad team hang around. And like I said, Sunday Night Baseball, you said you're watching right now, is the Cardinals and the Padres. Padres put a whooping on them last night, but I think this will be.
Yeah.
Let me look. I believe this is the rubber match. Oh, nope. Padres actually going for the sweep there. So
Cardinals already jumped out to 2-0 lead though. I did try to switch over to the hockey game, but it looks like it's still a commercial.
Arenado at a home run, correct?
What's that?
Arenado at a home run, correct?
I thought I saw that, but I didn't get notification. And he's on my team, unless I screwed up and left him on the bench somehow. Pause. Yeah, he did. Yeah, he had a 2-run homer. So
Padres still in second, trying to keep up, but Dodgers still in third. It's just can't avoid that injury bug. He was off to a really, really, really slow start. I think he was probably one of the worst hitters in baseball, but your boy Edmund Rios is out for the year now with an injury.
Yeah.
He's probably playing hurt. And
jeez.
And then Seager had placed in the IL today. He's gonna be out a month.
Okay. Yeah.
Had that on top of everything. It's just
can't catch a break.
Matt, I love Matt Beatty. He's in 327 this year as well, but he was their cleanup hitter today. So
yeah. But
fighting along at 22-18.
Yeah.
That's
the
baseball.
This week in baseball. This half week in baseball, yeah. And then the only other big sporting event this weekend was the Preakness again. It's another thing I kind of didn't really catch anything of sports related this weekend. And that's another thing too. I wish the races were a little bit more spread out. I kind of get it with the maybe wanted to take advantage of some weather, but they're always so compressed into like a 5-week span or 6-week span. So that obviously happened Saturday. And was it Rumbauer won?
Yeah, Matt. I on your boy. I actually threw like $15 on him yesterday. Came in second.
Who's that? Oh, he was back. Okay. Yeah. Well, then I'm glad I didn't look because I probably would have taken him again as well, or something like that.
$15, and then I threw a 10.
Actually, I probably wouldn't have.
And then I threw a $10 long shot on Keep Me in Mind, who had the same. It was like 10 to win, $1.50. It's between him and Rumbauer, but I just like the name Keep Me in Mind more.
Yeah. The only thing is, like, when I saw who won, I was like, I don't know if I would have picked that name. So
I thought
it made me feel a little better.
I was like, I don't have it on 3 versus. So I was like,
yeah. You don't want to hedge yourself too much there, but yeah, that was the other big news of the week. But yeah, I think that pretty much sums up what happened over the weekend. Again, we kind of had to wait for the playoff picture to settle for. It was semi-settled for hockey, and really, it's still not quite settled for basketball. But again, we'll have a full week of NHL playoffs, a full week of play-in tournaments for basketball, and then we'll get the full swing of things on Saturday. Yeah. But yeah, I think.
Also, another side note: Sam Houston won the FCS football title today.
Oh yeah, because they did the spring season, obviously. Yeah. So surprising it wasn't North Dakota State. I feel like they win every year. I guess just Trey Lance didn't play, and they didn't.
He did South Dakota State.
Oh, the Jackrabbits. Okay.
Yeah. 23-21, game-winning touchdown with 16 seconds left.
Yeah. So, all right. Well, another good note there as well. But yeah, well, we made it, Mike. We made it to the exciting time of year. Well, again, I know it's tough with certain events now happening again. I think there's been kind of a backlog with us being pretty much locked up for a year. That now a lot of things are happening, but we'll definitely try to be, I think, a little bit more regular than the last couple of weeks. Just because again, there's a lot more going on. For a while, it was just wrapping up the regular season for NHL and NBA, and MLB was still so early, but a lot to pay attention to now with both of those playoffs going on, and then we'll obviously eventually get into summer baseball as well. So exciting times. We get 1.5 teams in the playoffs right now, I guess, because the Celtics technically are not quite there. They're in the play-in, but we'll have at least the next 3 nights here a Boston team in some sort of playoff game from Monday through Wednesday, maybe even Thursday too if the Celtics drop it. Some sort of event, exactly. So yeah, it should be a lot of fun. Again, we'll probably be back on Wednesday night, and thanks everyone so much.
See you guys.